Skin the Hardaway Sutton T. Back with another EP. And y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. We here for a good time, not a long time. Back at you with some TWT Fantasy Football League. We got another trade going down this Saturday. We had a trade last night. Matter of fact, let me get to. We had some trades go down yesterday, and also we had some trades go down today. Yesterday, earlier today, as reported, we had We Talk Sports trading Curtis Samuel, wide receiver from the Washington Commanders, to the DC Snipers. You know what I mean? We Talk Sports. That's my brother, We Talk Sports. My brother, Dwayne Freeman, owner of the DC Snipers. He traded away his Baltimore Raven defense and his wide receiver, Hunter Winfro. We Talk Sports doubled down in the trade world, right? He doubled down, in the trade. We Talk Sports was, busy. He was busy in the trade circuit this week. He was busy in the trade circuit this week. He doubled back and he traded myself, owner of the Memphis Hustle. He traded Jarvis Landry, wide receiver of the New Orleans Saints, and Darrell Henderson, running back of the LA Rams, to the Memphis Hustle, myself, for wide receiver Corey Davis of the New York Jets, and running back Josh Jacobs of the Las Vegas Raiders. I dropped that video, a little earlier. And now, we also had Dwayne Freeman, the DC Snipers. He picked up running back Kenneth Gainwell in the free agency pool. We just had another trade, happen 1 hour ago. As you can see, we got the Memphis Hustle, which is myself, the Memphis Hustle, traded away tight end Hunter Henry of the New England Patriots, and also wide receiver Chris Godwin of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to DammitMan. My guy DammitMan, my guy K. Savoy for his Minnesota Vikings defense, and his tight end Tyler Conklin. So Chris Godwin had 3 receptions, 35 yards last week, averaged 11.7, NFL grade. Chris Godwin was my former, wide receiver. Chris Godwin is inactive. You know what I mean? Right now, he played last week in the limited role. He had a bit of a hamstring injury, so he's sitting out this week. But I'm expecting Chris Godwin, to come back this year and be a big, valuable piece at some point. I really didn't want to trade him. You know what I mean? I didn't want to trade him, but I needed a certain piece. I needed a tight end, and I needed a tight end that plays for a specific team. And I picked up the Minnesota defense to pair with my front yards have long. My bad. I picked up the Minnesota defense to pair with my Las Vegas Raiders defense. It's kind of like a backup defense, a trade piece, kind of deal. You know what I mean? So I was able to get the Minnesota Vikings defense as well out of this. So I got off. I traded Chris Godwin. I really didn't want to, even though he's hurt. I believe that's a high value pick. Some people may value him high. Some people may value him low. Depending on where you value him, when he's healthy, he's most definitely Tom Brady's number one receiver. As the stats will indicate. But I had to let go of Chris Godwin. For a bigger and a greater cause. You know what I mean? I feel like I also traded Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry had 2 receptions and 20 yards last week. He averaged 10 yards a reception. Hunter Henry was a player who kind of let me down. You know what I mean? Last week I expected more. I expected more value out of Hunter Henry. You know what I mean? So I really didn't have too much invested in Hunter, so I threw him in there because I know he's projected to do a decent amount of points. You know what I mean, as a tight end. So I threw Hunter Henry in there because he does have some value. You know what I mean, as a tight end. You know what I mean. And I traded Chris Godwin and I traded Hunter Henry. I traded Chris Godwin and Hunter Henry for Tyler Conklin of the New York Jets and the Minnesota Vikings defense. The Minnesota Vikings defense has 4 sacks and 1 interception so far. Now, the reason that I traded away, Chris Godwin and Hunter Henry was for Tyler Conklin, because Tyler Conklin is the wide receiver for the New York Jets. You see, he had 4 receptions and 14 yards. Now, in the PPR league that we in, this reception is important because, those are points as well. Not overly excited by the yards, right? And he had that 1 touchdown, you know what I mean? type deal. So I wanted to bring him in because I have Elijah Moore, who also plays for the Jets, right? So with him being my starting tight end, when I start Elijah Moore, effectively, I got two receivers, on the same team. So I increase my odds of getting points on their receptions by having two receivers on the same team. If Elijah Moore don't get it, hopefully he throw to my tight end. You know what I mean? I at least give myself a 50% chance. You know what I mean, to get to get points. Instead of having one guy. So that's kind of how I was looking at that. In that angle. In the Minnesota Vikings defense, that was a throw-in. Now that's a starting defense, but it would be my backup defense because I had the Cowboys defense, but I let them go because I think they're gonna have a lot of pressure on them with Dak Prescott being out to do well. And I'm not necessarily sure if they're gonna be able to play, where they need to be, where they need to play at. You know what I mean? So I think there'll be a lot of pressure on that Cowboy defense. So I got out the Cowboy defense. Some people may value them, still value them high. So that'd be a good free agent pickup, you know what I mean, for somebody. But I wanted the Minnesota Viking defense as my second defense. I let go of the Cowboy defense and picked up the Raiders defense. The Raiders also have, a pretty, decent, defense. They underachieved their first week, but I expect the Raiders defense to do a lot better. I added the Minnesota Vikings defense. They also, underachieved the first week, but I also expect them, to improve. They didn't lose you any points, but they didn't gain you any points either, right? And that's about all you could expect, from a defense type deal. But that's a pretty good defense. Second defense. It's a pretty good starting defense, right? It would be my second defense, and it's a trade pick. You know what I mean? So I wanted Tyler Conklin was the piece I wanted in the Minnesota defense. Was to throw in, and I had to come off to Chris Godwin to make the deal. Interesting in Hunter Henry. Now some people, this is a good trade, right? I feel like DammitMan came out to win in this trade because he get two weapons, right? Hunter Henry is a interchangeable tight end. You know what I mean? He may go off this week. He may have an average week. You know what I mean? Type deal, depending on how you play him. Chris Godwin, when healthy, that's a bona fide number one wide receiver. Tyler Conklin is the starting tight end for the Jets. It was important for me to get him because I compare him with the number one or two wide receiver for the Jets, and I could kind of, maybe they balance each other out. Like if they both only have 9 points, in the sense there's 20 points, you know what I mean? Because they both was on the same team, type deal. If one don't get it, this one might get it. So that's kind of how I was looking at that. And the Vikings defense, starting defense, or a trade piece. So that's where the value came in with the Vikings piece. But that was the second trade, you know what I mean, that went down in our TWT Fantasy Football League. This just getting interesting. Shout out my guy, Boxing MMA. He said Godwin and Henry for Conklin is crazy. It really is. Yep. But I needed a piece. I needed to add him to, my team already. Conklin would be my starting tight end right now. I got Conklin, the Bengals tight end. You know what I mean? I feel like I helped my guy K out. You know what I mean? I feel like this is a good trade, for K. If Godwin, the thing is, Henry is a starting tight end, right? If Godwin can be healthy, then K go win that trade easily by a long shot. You know what I mean? But I needed to make moves right now, and Conklin fit what I need to do right now. So I had to make a move. But yeah, I lead, getting heated up. And I'm willing to, trade again. But right now, I think I'm good. I made some solid moves. I actually got another trade piece out there, so it could be another trade, coming out. I ain't gonna tell y'all the details of that just yet, but it could be another, some more trade news, Brayden, because I offer somebody else a trade as well. I think that would be my last move for sure. You know what I mean? But I ain't gonna keep y'all in here too long. TWT Fantasy Football League, Memphis Hustle traded Chris Godwin and Hunter Henry to Team DammitMan for Tyler Conklin in the Minnesota Vikings defense. Yeah. Big moves, Boxing MMA. He said he's going to get more reps. That makes perfect sense. Smart move, T. Yeah, it made sense for my team, for what I needed for my team as well. You know what I mean? But I'm finna get up out of here, Skin Hardaway, Sutton T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future, but this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.